Welcome to the Football Retro Podcast.
The word welcome, I guess, is stretching it a little when you're an Australian in a place like this today.
Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Football Retro Podcast. I'm your host Johnny, and today I've got another full table. I'm joined by Fatty, Adasi and Ak. How you doing, guys?
Great, Johnny. Great to be here all the time.
I'm back again, thank you.
I missed you, man.
Did you really?
No.
I heard you talking shit on the last podcast, so I don't know if you actually missed me, but I'm here to be a thorn in your side.
Add a bit of spice to
Our anger levels have decreased in the last couple of weeks.
I'm here to be the thorn in your side.
Are you awake, Akram?
Mate, you know I'm barely awake, but I'm doing alright. It's good to see you guys.
This is what happens with these late night podcasts. This is what happens when you start recording at 1:30 in the morning.
But Akram falls asleep at 3 p.m.
Big days, mate. Heavy workload.
Playing cricket with Indian kids.
Are you a cricket teacher?
No, he's just talking shit.
Oh, okay, sorry. I don't know what you do.
No, fair enough. No, I work in a school. But yeah,
Well, it's good
you
guess.
have long hours, you know?
Good guess. I said, do you teach cricket? Like, are you a cricket teacher?
It's not a good guess. He just said
Yes,
playing cricket with Indian kids. So he gave me the guess. Dumb guy.
get them into the football. Get them into the football.
That's your job, Akram. Even better, get into Football Retro.
Touche.
Oh yeah, because this is appropriate for kids, eh?
Nothing
Nothing wrong with this.
Please, I've heard worse in school. What are you talking about?
I think we're very educational.
I agree.
Knowledgeable, informative.
Not as educational as The Simpsons were, but...
Can't beat that.
What are some of the life lessons you learned from The Simpsons, Johney?
Oh, Fatty.
Everything.
What
The
a question.
Simpsons.
Krusty the Clown showed people where Falkland Islands was. Remember that episode?
Yeah.
What
Disputed Islands. I hear.
were you going to say, Fatty? The Simpsons?
The Simpsons is a reflection of real life. Everything that happens is relatable to a Simpsons episode or to some Simpsons reference.
1000%.
I
Everything.
agree. I agree. All right, let's get into it. What did you guys... A lot of good feedback from last week's episode.
Oh yeah?
Obviously a very emotional episode.
Maradona episode, yeah.
Bit of an aftermath. After we recorded that night, something still happened.
Really, yeah.
What did you guys think of some of the tributes that came out? And
I mean, like there was like several tributes that came out that I thought were really touching and beautiful. I felt there was some voices that were lacking in our space. What do you reckon of that? Sorry, you were about to speak, man. I just cut you off.
No, you're right, man. I think great tributes from around the world in Europe and South America. I just look back at it. It's just such a shame that with bloody COVID that the stadiums are just empty.
With tributes around the world, I watched a lot of media from the Middle East, and it was massive there. It ran for 2 days non-stop. That was the only story that was going, and they were talking about it, and they spoke to football personalities, and they spoke to pundits and whatever, and people were crying on TV. They were that upset about it. And these these are people that aren't his countrymen, right? But that's how big he was to that audience, especially there. Like, everyone grew up with him, and everyone idolized him. As we mentioned in that podcast, the biggest player for the biggest sport in the world. It doesn't get bigger than that. So,
Yeah.
you were mentioning Ak, about Messi's tribute.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I don't know about you guys, but I believe that was perhaps the most touching tribute of all. Messi scored a goal the other day. It wasn't exactly the most spectacular goal.
It was a nice goal.
It was alright, but it was Griezmann.
All right.
Griezmann scored a little bit ago.
but Griezmann's he hit it on the
fucking
volley.
let me talk.
He was trying to-
It
kind of flew,
shit.
like those ones that Griezmann hit. It's either going to go two k's above the bar, or it's going to go in.
Fair enough. It doesn't moving on. The point is that it was very, very telling. It was very appropriate that he scored a goal and then had that moment for himself. You saw the players kind of rush him to celebrate, but then he was like, move away. So he had his moment alone for a second.
Yeah.
Takes the jersey off, Johnny. And what was the jersey underneath, mate?
News Old Boys, number 10, worn by Maradona. Nature worn.
I read that he got that jersey 2 years ago by
As a gift.
Yeah, the person who actually owned it, or I don't know if they bought it as an auction or as a souvenir or whatever, donated it or gave it back to Messi. And how fitting it's just funny how these things align, right? Like, even the goal that he scored, it was very, very, like, eerily similar to Maradona's goal.
For Newell's.
For Newell's.
Yeah.
Same thing, like he beats a couple of players outside the box and hits it across the goal into the top corner. Messi, same thing, just different foot.
Yeah.
And then somehow, like to have had worn that shirt that game, obviously assuming that if he had scored, he would give it tribute.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to score straight away in the match after Maradona's death,
Yeah.
you know, very fitting to score a very similar goal, mate. I mean, fuck, it's
And
just like
that's-
the planets, the stars
You
aligned.
couldn't
for that to
script it.
happen.
Yeah.
That's the only goal that Maradona scored for Newell's. Because
Wow.
he actually missed a penalty and the rebound
Wow.
playing for Newell's. So that's the only goal he scored for Newell's.
So I think
And
about
it was
it.
very
good.
He could have scored any goal. Could have scored a tap in. Could have scored a penalty.
Yeah.
Could have scored a free kick.
Yeah, exactly. But the fact that he did get to score and have that moment,
Yeah, and
moving
eerily
towards
similar goal. It's crazy.
moving towards the end of the stadium there, where they had Maradona's jersey up high, he looked up to the sky. I thought, wow, I was really touched by that. You know, as you guys know, I'm clearly not a Barcelona fan, but I felt like a great deal of connection there in that moment. I think all football fans probably did.
Yeah.
Napoli came out with a specially designed jersey
Yeah,
Yeah.
similar to Argentina's one.
Yeah, Real Madrid, same thing. The big Maradona jersey in the middle of the field before the game against Alaves.
Boca all played with Maradona on their shirts,
Yeah.
on their jerseys, and
Maradona's daughter was in the
they scored and went and
Dedicated to her.
Dedicated to her. They
Yeah.
cut across to her crying. I saw photos as well of her with Maradona in the box
yeah.
at games, and then again, like, you know, split image side by side. It's very heartbreaking, man, to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking because not just because of who Maradona was. Put that aside for a second, but as a human, the man's 60 years old. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
you
it's
know,
young to know.
you're probably 2/3 of the way through your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If we're going to be realistic by
Yeah.
today's standards, you know, most people would live to their 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very young to die at that time. So, personality aside, or
It's a
person
very good
aside,
point,
it's still
Fatty.
young.
He was
Yeah.
still young, yeah.
We don't think about it like that.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, we were expecting the tributes and the reactions. I was quite stunned by the city of Naples' reaction. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw some of the pictures, but like the streets were just lit up with flares, all moving towards the stadium and things like
Yeah.
that. It was just amazing pictures to be seen.
Yeah.
FFA would have a nightmare. They'd have a panic attack.
They wouldn't know what a tribute meant. Retards. But that's a testament to. I know we mentioned in the Maradona episode the tribute about how would people in Naples react. It'd be nice to see how they reacted.
Yeah.
And that was very telling.
That's right, yeah.
It was
I like
enormous.
Tevez one as well. Tevez scored
I saw that.
and
I
he
saw
took his
that,
jersey off, similar to Messi.
Yeah.
And he actually had the 1981 match worn jersey by Maradona as
What would
well.
that be worth today?
Yeah.
That jersey.
Oh, it's all sweaty now, not Tevez.
Bro,
And,
it doesn't matter. Yeah, but even more value because you can say Tevez wore it, dedicated the goal after Maradona died. The shirt that Maradona wore would be worth millions.
Another moment as well. Ancelotti on the sideline. They were having minutes of applause for Maradona, and then he was in tears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, during his playing days, he did play against Maradona
Yeah,
quite
that's
a few
right.
times, didn't he?
Yeah.
I read an article. So an English player from the 86 World Cup game owns the jersey,
What jersey?
Maradona's jersey. So Maradona gave him the jersey after the game.
Oh, they exchanged
Yeah,
jerseys.
yeah.
And it's in a museum now, I think in Manchester.
Wow.
And he came out recently and said it's not for sale, like because obviously he had people calling him. Yes, it's not for sale.
Yeah.
So that
unbelievable,
number
yeah.
10 jersey match worn that day. It's in a museum in Manchester somewhere.
From that game.
From that game.
the
86.
most infamous game of the '86 World Cup.
I would give both my testicles for that jersey.
I don't think they're worth that much, Johnny. Sorry, they're not worth that much.
Probably worth more than the Mona Lisa, maybe.
Far out.
Wow.
Settle down there.
In saying that, though, it's funny you mentioned English because I consume a lot of English tabloids, football related, obviously.
Yeah.
Mate, their reaction was terrible.
Yeah, it was really disappointing
The
to
Sun
see.
and the Star and all those fucking pages.
Daily Mail.
Rubbish, John.
terrible.
It was really disappointing.
But look, that's
the
why they-
angle that they were going for, Fatty.
I mean, that's why they're called tabloids, right?
Yeah.
I get that. They're there to stir controversy and shit. But at a time like this, you'd expect it to be a little more tasteful when it comes to, especially a country that's football mad like England is. Like, we're
Yeah.
not talking about us here or
The US.
or America or
No,
someone
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. you think a country that had that, regardless of
The love
what
of football, like, and that's
100%.
that's the biggest thing we all have in common, right? And so, yeah, I totally agree.
The only English paper that did a really good piece on was The Guardian, but they're known to actually put out more professional stuff out there. But the rest were just rubbish.
I don't know which paper it was. They said something like,
VAR.
Maradona returns to God's hands.
No,
or some
that was
bullshit. Who was that?
Lineker's Instagram.
No. There was another. There was a paper that said that as well.
Gary Lineker
No,
on his
not
Instagram, deeply saddened, you're now in God's hands, and everyone's like, ah ha ha, nice choice of words.
No, there was another one similar to that. I've got to find it.
Do you
I
think,
don't
like,
recall.
just staying on Lineker's post, do you think that was intended to be?
Yes.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a pun.
No, but do you think it was intended to be, like, disrespectful, like, to take a shot?
No, I don't think it was disrespectful. I don't think Lineker's like that.
Yeah?
He did speak very highly of him
Yeah.
as well. There was a couple of interviews,
It
very
was,
candid.
it was obviously clearly a bit of a pun. I
on,
just mean, like, well, yeah, was it
one of the Premier League games. I don't know if he's on Sky Sports or
whatever?
One
Yeah.
of those-
or ITV. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't know which one he does, but I saw he did a tribute as well. So it wasn't in bad taste. I think he was just trying to be relevant or touch on
A little
something.
clever, but yeah.
a bit clever with it. Look, you can look at it both ways. I don't think there was any harm in it.
The reaction, though, in the comment section were probably, I could imagine was pretty bad, eh?
You're always going to get people reacting
Yeah.
over the top and that.
But the Daily Mail was probably the worst.
Yeah. Look, honestly, it was that bad.
Like, where was VAR or something like that, what they said? Yeah, where
the
was
Middle
VAR?
Eastern media were critical of the
English
British
media,
media and said this is absolutely disrespectful, because obviously in the Middle East respect is a massive thing when it comes
Yeah.
to stuff like this. They don't, taking jabs and things like that when someone's passed is it's taboo. It's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
You don't do that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So, especially for someone that they revered like Maradona, for them to see that, they were absolutely tearing into them.
Really?
They were tearing into them, saying it was disgusting, it's disgraceful, and they were hammering them. Just hammering them
So,
about it.
Adasi, do you want to describe the front cover? Do you remember it?
Yeah, so I had the picture of Maradona with the hand of God, and Peter Shilton coming out, and it said, "Where was VAR when we needed it?"
But so that was
something
there.
along those lines.
That was the day after he passed away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where was VAR?
Yeah, like the bloke just died, mate.
Idiots.
Fucking
I-
hell.
I'm guessing.
I sent it to you guys, and you thought it was fake, and I actually double checked. No, it's
Yeah,
actually real.
I thought it was fake. I thought surely they wouldn't do that.
And then I look, wow, it's real.
Here it is, yeah. The Star said it as well. Maradona in the hands of God, age 60. That was
Wow.
on the top corner of that article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm guessing in regards to the VAR question, Germany would ask the same question in the '66 World Cup. In the final.
I actually
In the final.
went back
Yeah,
and
I
watched
guess.
that. They didn't slow down. Obviously, they didn't have that technology to slow down the footage.
Yep.
But even without the slow down,
When you look at it in that time, it didn't cross the
Yeah, it was clearly not even it was not even close.
No, fair enough. But so, going back to the Daily Mail story, let's break down what exactly was the angle they were trying to go for there, Johnny?
Just to let everyone know how butthurt they are still from '86.
Yeah. So it was just
Yeah.
really, at the end of the day, just focusing on the one thing, which, like you said, it's a bit disrespectful, it's a bit tasteless at the time. I found a lot of the English media and media from other parts of the world trying to really wanted to ramp up and talk about his private life, talk about some of his personal demons, which I also thought was a little problematic. I thought that was a little tasteless. We've had celebrity deaths. Sorry, mate. We've had celebrity deaths a lot this year. Most notably, we lost Kobe Bryant at the beginning of the year, which we all saw that it was really, really horrible and sad.
Yeah.
No one brought up some of the bad stuff that's been associated with his life because it wasn't the time.
Yeah, that's right. No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, it's funny you mentioned the word demons specifically, because I was just looking here at the other articles that we were referencing, the English media, and the Daily Mail. This is what they wrote. They summed up Maradona's achievement, and it says Maradona's achievements and demons. All right, so it says cocaine, prostitutes, mafia links, and an ego like no other. Yet Maradona was the finest footballer in history. So it was a backhanded compliment. Like,
Yeah.
it's what you call a shit sandwich, right? You feed him the shit and then finish off nicely. Our finest footballer in history. You just shit on the guy's character completely.
Look, we expect that from the UK for obvious reasons, because he raped everyone there, including the Queen, pretty much.
Including the Queen.
In '86, I'm pretty sure the Queen got pregnant after that game.
Got pregnant.
By little Diego. But what was disappointing for me was in Australia, Fox Sports Football.
Are you surprised, Johnny? Honestly, from your personal experience with Fox Sports and your involvement with the Wanderers and mine, are you surprised about Fox Sports?
I'm not surprised. I'm disappointed because these are the guys that invest money to bring up the sport, to promote the sport. Okay, so they depend on the sport doing well in this country for their product to go up. And yet, when Maradona died, most of the articles were bashing his personal life and talking about same thing, mafia and cocaine and prostitutes, sex workers. I mean, where are the tributes? Where are you relating to the football fans? If you're, I'm not talking about Fox Sports. I'm talking about the actual Facebook page of Fox Sports Football.
Yeah.
So you need to connect with your audience. Your audience are football fans. They want to praise the best footballer of all time.
I'm totally with you, mate. I totally get it.
Like you're out of touch with your own fans. You're out of touch with your market.
It's just bad strategy. It's bad marketing.
It's something you expect from like things like Channel 9 or Channel 7 to put up. But to Fox Sports football page, when they did it within not a few hours after he passed away,
You know what it is?
Probably not ideal.
It just seemed to me like it was just a matter of, this is a story now. Let's jump on it and see how much traction we can get.
Yeah, but the confusing part, and I think this is what like Johnny's really trying to understand, is that if your goal is to promote the game in this country, like there's a number of football fans out there that have probably not been watching lately, dropped off a bit. Something like this would bring you back, want to make you feel reconnected to that game. But the very content that you're looking to consume about football, you're not going to get. You're getting about his personal life. You're getting about personal demons. You're putting a bit of a black eye on the very sport that you're trying to promote and that you're trying to reconnect people with, or people who aren't big football fans but know about Maradona, so are looking to consume media about it.
Yeah.
I feel like they tried to do clickbait.
It's very funny. It's very funny how you frame that. Because it reminds me a lot of the issues with football media and the A-League or the FFA and media in this country. Exactly how he said it. Exactly the same thing. Why wouldn't you try and attune to the football fan here? Because that's your market, right? Your market's not. You're not going to get rugby league fans or other people. No one gives a shit.
Yeah,
if they cared, they'd be football fans, but they're not.
True, but at the same time, like I also know a lot of people who spoke to me about the death of Maradona, who aren't very big football fans, but were just affected by the amount of media that was out there, and so were looking to read up a little to feel connected. People love to feel connected with current affairs, especially major things like celebrity deaths, right? So this was an opportunity for you to promote the game itself.
Why it made the game so great? Yeah,
to promote the very highlights that Maradona was known for.
Do you think it goes back to what we spoke about last week? A lack of culture in this country when it comes to things like this.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
But Johnny, this isn't new. This isn't new to us, right?
There's a quote that I said last week that it stood out for a lot of listeners, and something that best describes the culture in this country. Overseas, you said people on live TV in the Middle East were crying.
Yeah.
In Argentina, the news readers had to stop and started crying, like sports journalists, news readers. Who's your biggest sporting celebrity here? Kathy Freeman, Shane Warne, who would it be?
I don't fucking know.
It's
one of those three.
Johnny. It's a tough one to pick.
Because it depends what sport you're talking about, right? There's no one that's revered like that overall.
If Kathy Freeman, because you go overseas and who the hell's Kathy Freeman? No one would know. Shane Warne, same thing.
I'm saying in this country, there's no one that's revered across all codes.
If Ian Thorpe dies, no one will be crying on live TV.
No, but that's
it's a different. I also work on the Friday. So on the Friday, I went to work after we recorded.
Yeah,
I had my Maradona jersey. I was up at my desk. I was watching the burial live on TV. I was watching Maradona's tribute and being buried in the coffin and everything. The family was there. And then someone goes, "Oh, you're very impacted by this. Was he a family member of yours? You're very upset. Is he your uncle or cousin?" And I'm like, fucking dumb cunt. Like, you just don't get it. Like, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's a different culture here. It's hard for people to understand why you're so sad about someone dying that you don't even know personally.
So, like, I think that you are definitely right. Like, I definitely agree with you that there is a certain lack of understanding about the whole concept, but also so I think that explains why maybe the average person might give you a reaction like that. But to explain why we got articles the way we did and we got posts like that. I also think that is a time that we're in with the internet, and when it comes to clickbaits, everything's so clickbait focused. Like Fatty was saying before, they are prioritizing attention over actual growth and health over the very sport that they are supposed to promote. And I think it's because everyone just gets caught up in the views and the numbers and the links and the likes, dislikes, even the comments.
But the problem with that is you're chasing something that doesn't exist.
What do you mean by that, Fatty?
Okay, so again, back to my point with the A-Leagues, with the A-League thing. The FFA itself and football media, so Fox Sports Football, the branches of Fox Sports that relate to football specifically, were constantly disorienting the football fan because they were chasing the non-football fan. Oh, this is how we're going to grow the game. We gotta cater to a wider audience. We've got to get the mums and dads and the families and the people that whatever. You've already got those. You've already got the people, the mums and dads that take their kids to play football. They're already going to come to a game.
Yeah.
They're not the people you want to get. They're not the people you want to push away. Sorry, you're trying to get someone else.
You're trying to get the rugby league fans, the AFL fans.
You're trying to get the other fans that are already hardcore something else, and they don't give a shit. But okay, you don't have the market share at the moment, and that's all they cared about, the numbers and likes, and that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
This is what they cared about.
Yeah.
The numbers. It's all about dollars and cents and how this could be viable and all that sort of shit. I understand from a business perspective, it needs to be viable to survive. But there's got to be a point where there's going to be a matter of time where you say, look, this isn't going to... We can't worry about making money from this. Let's just get the game on its feet and let's focus on the people that actually give a shit about this. And that's where this comes in.
Yeah.
They're not worried about the football fan. Because if they were, like you said, they'd focus on Maradona, do a tribute for Maradona, do something... do something every second day or every day to highlight something different. All they did was, just get whatever was clickbaity. Yeah, we got the quick impact on the day, but that's it. Finished.
But is this an issue when it comes to clickbait material? Is this an issue that's just football, or is this an issue with internet? Man?
It's a general issue. It's a general internet issue because people are...
All forms of media now is driven by ratings. Whether television's driven by views on TV, Nielsen ratings, and all that kind of stuff. Facebook's driven by likes, comments, and all that stuff.
You know what, Fatty? We just mentioned there. Let's try to get someone on the show who's involved, whether it's FFA, whether it's Fox Sports, whether it's someone that's involved and knows people, and let's have a discussion.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a podcast for another day. I mean, we were obviously heavily involved with that in the background with that sort of stuff, and there's a lot of people that I know you're in touch with that would gladly come in and give some insight there. Yeah. And it's not just a reflection of what happened at the time, but it's also a reflection of football in this country as a whole, and it'll give a lot of people insight as to why football is at where it's at the moment, because of a lot of the decision making or the way that people are pushing football in this country, which is completely wrong. And that's just the tip of the iceberg when you talk about the media and how football media doesn't actually attune to the football fan. It's more about trying to just cater. It's just trying to please other people. So
I see where you're coming from, and I truly agree. And I think I suppose we should move on soon. But I just am also puzzled because even the non-football fan was looking to get connected to this story, but rather than connect them to,
they used the wrong story to
connect it to do it. Exactly, Darcy. Anyway.
We could go on this forever, but
exactly.
I think it's about time to move on from this topic because I'm going to get fired up and probably break the microphone or some shit.
It's not hard for you to get fired up, Paddy.
Any bad tributes that you saw out there, or any?
We just mentioned 600.
No, bad, like bad, like
tributes that just
weak, or like for example, the rugby union team in Argentina is after last weekend.
Oh yeah, that was big furor.
Very heavily criticised.
I was going to ask about that actually. I forgot to mention it when I was saying. I was going to say that even in rugby union, or rugby league, sorry, whatever the fuck it was. I don't even know. Was it league or
union?
Rugby union, okay.
League doesn't exist in Argentina.
Fucking, I don't even know. They were like it's travelled. It was that big that New Zealand, who isn't anything on a football.
The All Blacks jersey.
State, the All Blacks, offered a Maradona jersey or whatever, touching tribute. But I wanted to ask a question about that because I watched that right out of curiosity because I wanted to see what every sport was sort of doing to see how much impact Maradona had. How was the Argentina team responsive to that? It didn't look like they were very responsive to it.
They did nothing apart from wearing a black armband. They did nothing.
No, but even on the day when the jersey was offered, what happened afterwards? Did they take the jersey?
No,
Did they do something? What
one of the
happened?
staff members grabbed it and took it away, and that's why they got smashed to the
Yeah.
point.
Like they
To the
did it-
point where the whole team recorded a video and the captain spoke apologising for the lack of tribute.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they got heavily criticised. To this day, they're still getting smashed for it.
Yeah.
Like I would have thought, obviously, in rugby union, New Zealand, they'll do their thing, then they'll do the haka, whatever. But when that happened, I would have assumed they would have at least given it an applause, something, gone up and shook the guy's hand, didn't embrace, received the jersey, something.
They put the jersey out, they did the haka, and then they just got them with the game.
They stood there and waited for
Yeah.
them to do their haka like it was a normal thing. I just felt it was tasted like they didn't do
You
anything. I
should-
felt like they didn't do much.
You should see the comments that they're getting. It's like
Yeah, I'm sorry, I haven't
Yeah.
consumed the media on that side.
They're
but-
copying it. They're copying
Yeah.
it very bad.
Because you know what, honestly, when I think about Argentina, I feel like every other sport, not feel, it is, every other sport in that country is secondary to football. So when
It is,
something
yeah,
major
easily.
happens in football, all the other sports need to give tribute to that.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it should be.
And a lot of people that play other sports, like the tennis players, they're very spoken about, very vocal about which football team they support as well. They go to the games.
Yeah.
You see them in the stadium.
Because football's the number one thing.
Yeah.
So, for example, here in Australia, if, let's say, fucking, I don't know,
He-
Cameron Smith
Well,
died from
yeah.
in the NRL,
you-
right? There'll be tributes in the A-League for him. There'll be
Yeah.
tributes from everywhere because
Yeah.
rugby league's probably one of the biggest sports in the country, and he's one of the biggest players or the longest serving player,
Yes.
whatever you want to call it. So there'll be something there.
So Johnny brought up Argentinian tennis players, and just off topic, remember 2006 World Cup, and David Nalbandian was playing Wimbledon, and he asked the officials at Wimbledon if they could push the game back a bit so he could watch Argentina versus Germany quarterfinal.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
There you go.
fuck. It's football's is a religion. It's different.
Speaking of different cultures, can I just bring something up off topic? Moving on from
Everything's been off topic today.
moving on from Maradona. You guys would have seen midweek about Cavani.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
that ridiculous-
That's fucking bullshit.
That stupid, ridiculous backlash he received because he called his friend Negrito.
So I'm not even South American, and I understand the phrase
Context.
Yeah, the context that it's used. You know, it's like saying cute little like person referencing their color. And why I understand it, I'll just clarify because in Arabic, when there's someone that's dark, you say that about them.
That's right, and I'm
You-
Arabic
you-
background too. I can attest to that.
Yeah, you mention that about them, and it's not a derogatory thing. It's not a racist thing. You know, it's like if someone's very white, you mention that about them because that's the first thing you see. Or if someone's very black, you mention that about them.
It's like a term of endearment. Like
It's a little cute thing.
yeah.
It's a little
I
cute
was
thing.
saying to the boys before, like, especially overseas, everyone's got a nickname. Whether it's fatty, whether it's skinny, whether it's
Yeah,
blondie,
100%.
whether it's whitey, whether it's blackie. It's a term of endearment. And like, it's no insult whatsoever.
And
I mean, Akram might disagree, being a hard left over here. He gets offended by everything.
Mate, I don't get offended, nor do I condone either.
But
because I think that one thing you got to just always remember is that regardless of what you in your culture claim that it is, or an Arab culture, I think every culture must reflect on the practices that they have right now, and it should be an ongoing thing. Community and society changes. So for me, like I said, I don't condone nor do I defend, because like I said, it's always good to just reflect on these things.
Can I just say though, I think context is very important. And in the manner when it's delivered, which it's delivered, or what it's meant in, or what is implied.
that was his friend as well, wasn't it?
You know, so if I'm saying that about my mate that I've been friends with for 20
20
years,
yeah.
come on, like if I was racist, I wouldn't be his mate in the first place.
And at
right?
the end of the day, in that particular context, Fatty, what you're saying is that in that personal relationship, if that is okay between those two people, then how much of it is a business of the rest of the world to condone or condemn?
So you're saying that the whole of the Arabic community and the South American community, the whole Latin American community, should change their practices just because some people get offended?
Never said that. I'm not sure where you got that from. It's a bit weird, Johnny. I just said I don't condone, nor do I defend. I pretty much clearly said that. I believe that culture should reflect on their practices. What I said was, in that context, if you and your friend are okay with the way you speak, then how much of it is an issue for anyone else, and should it be for an issue for anyone else?
I don't think it should be an issue
Ask
for anyone
Cavani's
else.
friend, was it an issue for him? I don't know.
At the same time, though, Fatty, this is where you've got to be careful on the internet, because when you are posting and commenting on each other's Instagrams or
That's
Twitters
fair
and shit,
enough.
Facebook,
Yeah,
you're not
that's fair
just.
enough.
It's not just a chat. You're creating media.
I think-
That's how the law sees it. That's how society sees it. You're printing media, so it is just something to be careful with.
And this is why our kids have a lack of resilience.
This is becoming social politics now. Welcome to social politics, guys. Feel free to chime in.
Speaking of Negrito, there was another death in the football world.
Yes, when he was on the weekend Sunday, Papa Bouba Diop, former Senegalese midfielder, well remembered for the 2002 World Cup. His goal for Senegal in the opening game against France, and that celebration, we took the shirt off and they started dancing around it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. I remember that.
He was a great form in that whole tournament, as was the whole team. And then had not a bad career. Played for Fulham, played for Portsmouth, and then went to Ajax Athens. And he had long-term illness, and sadly passed away at age 42.
Wow, 42.
Yeah,
What was his illness?
Not quite sure, to be honest. It just said long-term illness.
You know what? I totally missed that. I think the Maradona aftermath sort of overshadowed everything, and
There-
rightly so. But
There were a lot of tributes on social media, and even in the Premier League, one of the Fulham players scored a goal and held up a Senegal shirt in tribute. But,
yeah,
another sad week for football.
42,
I definitely recall him from
Yeah,
the
that
2002 World Cup.
That
Yeah,
opening game. Yeah,
remember France would love that World Cup.
yeah.
They went home goalless.
Yes.
I remember that.
Speaking of friends, after we finished recording last week,
Oh, this is
Adasi shared a personal story,
would you call it a personal story though, or personal vendetta?
personal beef.
Personal
Okay.
beef.
Let me. Yeah. Okay.
Hang on, before Adasi, before you jump
Adasi,
in,
shut up.
we've got to set up the scene here for people that don't know what happened. So this happened a couple of weeks back now.
No, last week.
Just last week
Was it
after.
last week?
After
yeah.
the Maradona episode.
After the Maradona episode, we were talking about something, and Platini popped up. We were referring. Well, we were talking about number 10s or whatever. and
Yeah, whatever it
Greatest
was.
players
yeah,
or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
Tributes, if similar to
Oh,
Maradona.
if people of similar stature to Maradona died, and Platini was mentioned, and then Darcy jumps in and says, "Say the line."
Quote, personal beef, end quote.
So Adasi claims that he has
personal beef.
personal
Okay.
beef, and I'll repeat, personal beef,
Beef.
Like
with Michel Platini. So here we are. We're like, fuck. Personal beef. Where did you meet him? What happened? Where did you see him?
No.
Did he sell you a shit car? What happened?
is he a
No,
dodgy
no.
builder?
No. No, worse. No,
So here's the story. Adasi, take it away.
So this dates back 16 years ago, 2004.
Do you remember what date it was of the week?
I remember it was just before the Euros. Before the Euros, it was in a HSC year. And it was a special chat session on UEFA.com with Michel Platini. It was, I don't know if it was president at the time of UEFA. You know, go
He was
on,
corrupt.
ask questions.
He was corrupt.
This was
He was
before.
part of the
This
corruption.
was before Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff was around.
So it was like a chat
Chat
room.
session with Michel Platini.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, ask him questions, he'll answer. Blah blah blah.
How long were you waiting to log into that chat? Because they obviously had a limited number, right? You didn't.
No, I think I went in. It was fine, but then I got in, started asking a few questions. One question, no answer.
What was the question?
I can't remember.
You
Man,
do
but-
remember?
Oh,
No,
Come on,
it was about,
What was the topic,
What do you
Bob?
think of about Euro 2004? France's chances, whatever.
Yeah.
One of those.
Okay.
Okay.
Just a football related.
Football related questions.
Yeah,
you know,
okay.
perfectly.
Nothing about his corruption
Nothing
or anything.
offensive.
Okay.
Nothing personally against him. And didn't answer first question. Didn't answer second question.
Were they the same questions?
No,
Copy and
different.
paste
I
it.
want- They were the same, and then the third question I mixed it up a bit, changed it. No answer. Then okay, I'll give this one more shot. Fourth question,
Nothing.
typed it, pressed enter.
What
No
happened?
answer.
Yeah.
No answer. Then like
so what'd you
stuff this. I
so
just
what'd you
spammed
do?
the whole forum. I spammed the typing gibberish. Just press whatever on the keyboard, typed, and then they just.
You
Hang
started
on, wait,
trying
wait.
to bring down the entire
Wait,
chat
hang on,
room.
Hang on a second. So did you just start smashing the keyboard with your
No,
palms?
just with my fingers, not palm. Just type whatever I could, spammed it, and then before the moderators or whoever, I think maybe it was him, just kicked me out. Maybe it was him, I don't know. He had his moderators near him.
Michel Platini.
So Michel Platini,
He's moderating you, so let me
Michel Platini personally kicked you out of the UEFA chat.
Please kick this Rain Adasi out of the chat.
He's moderating his own video.
Can I just
The UEFA president.
I thought you were spamming it with questions.
No.
I didn't realise you were running gibberish. He got angry and running gibberish.
Keyboard bashing.
Yeah.
Fuck! I didn't think the story would get this good. It got better than what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Oh god!
The UEFA president was moderating his own.
Oh, whatever. If he was president at the time, probably wasn't.
No wonder he didn't answer, mate. He had a lot of stuff to do. He was answering the questions and then looking for.
He probably wasn't there, but you know.
Oh god!
Anyway.
When you said spamming last week, I
Yeah,
thought
we
you
thought
meant
you copy pasted the same
No, no, no.
question.
the question. You got angry.
Okay, disclaimer, I was 16 years old at the time, so the things you do as a teenager.
Oh jeez!
Man.
Mate, you tried to bring down the entire chat because he didn't answer your questions.
Do you think?
Angry little man, mate.
I brought it into meltdown.
Do you think? Platini still thinks about it?
I
got over it.
I've got a very important question. What was your username?
Fuck, I don't know, man.
Yes, you
I'd probably
does.
I'll just use my RA initials, whatever. I don't know what it was.
Oh, man!
Yeah, that was from 2004. I was 16 years old.
So you got into a rage against Platini and started keyboard bashing.
So what do you think of him now?
Oh, he's a crook.
Are you
He
over?
was a great player. Don't
Are you over it now, Darcy?
Is
That's
the beef?
important
Have
thing.
you? Have we?
I
have
got
we-
over it, man.
Have we
Still have
settled
the
the
beef?
beef?
I got over it because I had exams to focus on that year. So, yeah.
But hang on, let's just say Football Retro episode 19. Have you settled your beef with Michel Platini? This is just on air now. He might hear this. So
Like, I'll let bygones be bygones.
Yeah.
done. Michelle, if this gets to you, please come on the podcast. We're happy to make amends.
We
with
have
you.
good news for you, Platini.
I'm all for forgiveness.
You don't need to look over your shoulder anymore, mate.
I'm a forgiving person. I'm all for forgiveness.
Personal beef.
God,
Should be the name of this episode, mate. Personal
The
beef.
things,
Personal beef.
episode 19, personal.
the things you do as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, the crazy parties and
Honestly,
all that.
Darcy, that story got better than it was last time. Honestly, I'm going to tell you that. I appreciate it. Thanks.
No
I
worries.
can imagine him spamming.
I thought he copy pasted, just flooded the chat with
Just
the same
press whatever
question.
the hell's on the keyboard, man.
Anyway, speaking of great players, what about Giroud's performance in the Champions League?
Oh, please, Johnny.
You have a
Johnny,
fetish with this
please,
guy,
bro.
don't you?
May.
I don't know, you always talk about him.
You love him or hate him, and tonight you love him.
He's a mercenary for me. I don't like
Does
him.
that mean he's going to stay at Chelsea? I don't know. Does his 4 goals do anything?
Stay at what? He's done nothing. He's rubbish. What has he done before this?
Won a World Cup.
At Chelsea.
guy. Listen to this
At Chelsea, loser. Not at fucking France.
It's not the point. The point is that every time the example said about Giroud scoring no goals in the 2018
There was a
World Cup.
ridiculous post.
No shots.
There was a ridiculous post I saw from ESPN FC today about Giroud saying he's got more Champions League goals than Zidane. He's got more goals in the Premier League than Henry or something.
No,
And
surely
he's
not.
got more goals than...
He doesn't have more goals than the Premier League.
Oh, no,
How?
something more than Henry. Something more than Henry. And more goals than...
More hair.
Probably more, yeah,
more,
more headers.
and then he's got more goals than Benzema for the national team. And like, hang on, guys, are you serious? He's saying he's better than Zidane now, or Benzema?
Please,
Who's
bro.
better, Benzema or Giroud?
Benzema.
But Giroud wouldn't lace up any of France's fucking players' boots.
Why do you hate him so much?
He's shit, bro. He's just a mercenary. I don't like him.
I mean, he was
Last week, Johnny, you hated him just as much,
All
mate.
right, he won a couple of FA Cups, but whatever. Rubbish. He's too worried about his look rather than his playing style. He's very slow.
Anyway, Johnny, I didn't see the score, mate. What was the exact score at the end? Was it just
4-0.
4-0?
Giroud, 4 Seville
by
nil.
Giroud.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Chelsea's starting to
Does
Against-
do some
does that
stuff,
mean
eh?
that
Against who? Who'd they beat?
Sevilla?
Sevilla don't belong in the Champions League, that's why.
They actually are.
Where do they belong?
They don't belong there.
Did
They're out of place.
But they probably...
does this settle that Premier League's better than La Liga, Akram?
Who said, did you say it? No.
No, that's what he's saying. He's saying because
Settles.
Chelsea beat Sevilla. No, I mean it doesn't settle that, Johnny. But
Speaking of better than La Liga, it's going with Real Madrid, mate.
Oh,
here
disgraceful
we go.
performance. What a horrible game that was against Shakhtar. 2-0 loss. Just there's something wrong with that club.
You were
The team-
talking. You were
the team-
talking. You were talking in the chat the other day, and I was actually surprised. I don't know if it was one of you.
Yeah.
He said something about Zidane. He could be gone, and I'm like, hang on a
He,
second.
he said that 6 hours ago.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, but
it could.
4 or 5 episodes ago, we're talking about Zidane being in the top 3 managers of all time.
Yeah, but you understand Real Madrid, when you have results like that, and if you're going to get eliminated in the Champions League group stages, it hasn't been done before.
But at the same time, mate, at the same
and I've seen coaches go
Yeah, but
for
hang
less
on,
than that.
yeah, but hang on a second.
I've
Hang
seen
on.
coaches
Hang
go
on.
less
Hang on a
than
second.
that.
Hang on. Last time, Ak, you were talking about Zidane
yes,
and his achievements, right? And we
Yeah,
said
yeah.
oh, it's too early. And he said, but look what he's already won.
Yeah.
With Real Madrid,
100%.
So if you've already done that, is one shit season
No,
going to be
no,
worth
no,
getting
no,
sacked?
don't get me wrong.
That's my
Look,
question.
I'm saying what could happen, but what I don't think he should be sacked because he deserves the end of the season, and not all
Just
the
at the end of the season.
No, not all the problems are his fault at the moment. There's the squad at the moment. It has its issues. There needs to be areas that need to be fixing. Defense, in midfield, up front, lacking up front. Finishing is poor. The players that shouldn't be there, players like Marcelo and Isco, and even Rafa Varane is in terrible form at the moment. There's some issues at the club, and it's not entirely his fault. He has part of the blame. Like some of his in-game decisions are questionable, but the squad he has just isn't cutting it at the moment.
This has always been an interesting point to me. Sorry to jump in. I sensed you're about to talk there.
No,
but-
you're right.
And this might be a question for you, Johnny, being involved football-wise and coaching-wise. Obviously, the manager, coach, has a lot of input, and in terms of preparing his team, preparing his players, getting them mentally up to the task, firing them up, encouraging them, whatever, all that sort of shit. I understand that. But at which point does it become the player's responsibility to say, hey, the player's not performing or you're out of form? At some point, the player's got to take responsibility. It's always going to be, the manager.
Yeah.
Like, case in point, the Wanderers now. Popovich left, a few years ago. It's the manager. They've burnt through 3 managers, and
Yeah.
Especially when you're
Yeah.
getting paid $500,000 a week.
well, fuck.
Look, at the end of the day, though, as well as while
answer my
there's
question,
so much media content coming out about Real Madrid. Look, it's Real Madrid. It's drama.
Of course.
It's gonna get clicks. I think it's important to note that while yes, this morning's result was awful, and they are right now currently 3rd in the group stage. If they were to win next week and Inter was to beat Shakhtar,
They'll both go through.
Real Madrid would be top of the table,
And
so they
Inter
could
go
easily
through too.
just it would
Turn
be
it
bottom or top, just in the next match.
Regardless of what happened in the other game, Real just have to win. They'll go through.
Also, we also just saw the last 2 Champions League ties. Real Madrid beat Inter twice, and yet we're not seeing nearly as much media scrutiny about Conte.
Well, that was my question. Prediction here.
Okay.
Who do you think will be the first or next coach from a big club in Europe to be sacked?
Definitely not Zidane. Definitely
No,
not.
look,
I don't believe
I
so.
think maybe.
The guy's earned himself.
gonna
The guy's earned himself at least another 2 years.
Oh,
if he done nothing.
I truly agree, and I think that you also got to think that what's happening in Real Madrid is like everything Adasi said, but it's also failure of the higher ups of like Florentine Perez, because the transfer seasons of the last couple of years have been very
They
few
bought
and
no
small.
one. They bought no one this past
They
year.
barely bought anyone.
How long has he been around for, number one?
Who?
Perez.
Second stint, 10 years.
I'm not saying
10
that
years,
anything would
11
happen
years.
to Perez.
For the second stint. So.
I'm not saying anything would happen to Perez. Like, obviously, he's as safe as any corrupt individual could be.
he's not.
But at the same time, my point was merely that, if you're not replenishing the squad, there's only so much any manager could do.
Is Arteta safe?
Arteta's safe. I'll
You
tell you why.
reckon?
I'll tell you why. Arteta is a long-term project. They're not going to chop and change now. They tried Emery for a little bit. Emery was a stopgap, I feel. It was never 100%. He came in from La Liga, different style. They weren't gonna persevere with him. I just felt that he never was gonna stay there, and he just never connected with the team. Arteta's got a rapport with the players. It's just there's a bit missing there. We're missing
What exactly do you think is missing?
And the Ozil saga as well.
The Ozil saga was before Arteta. But to be
like
fair,
now he's completely out of the squad.
yeah. So I think that Ozil saga, that bridge was burnt before Arteta came in. The issue, I believe, is that there are a lot of players that I don't think should be there, and they're trying to just fill in gaps, like your David Luiz's and things like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not like if you're going to clean out and you're going to start fresh, and you're talking about a new long-term project, then start fresh all up.
So
Then fill in. Then bring in stopgap players. Willian, okay, did well initially, but He's not a long-term thing. The guy's,
And
towards the end of his career.
Aubameyang's been a bit of off form since he signed the contract extension.
Yeah, because he was playing for a contract. A lot of
Yeah.
people were saying
Now
he was
he's
playing
got
for
it.
a contract. He was on fire.
Now
Now
he's
he's signed
got-
the contract. He's safe for the next 3 years.
So I know Johnny wants us to talk about managers are going to be fired, but before we hit on exactly on that topic, I wanted to ask Fatty, January, if you can sign like a player for Arsenal, what player would you sign? Defender, midfielder? What does Arsenal need?
Arsenal's defense post, the early 2000s
Yeah.
era, it just non-existent after that. We had a good balance of defense and flair going forward.
Yeah. There was a lot of hype about a young defender that went to Arsenal this past season, right?
Saliba.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's he been going?
Terrible attitude because he's French. They have shit attitudes, mate. They
Fair enough.
just can't. You can't. They're very temperamental.
You don't have any personal beef with him, do you?
Beef
What?
tartare.
The boys on this podcast have a problem with Frenchmen, Johnny.
French theme.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
honestly, even if there was someone, I don't think we're in the market for anybody.
Anyway,
I don't think
fair
we'll be
enough.
in the market
Yeah.
for anyone. They're gonna let him ride out this season with whatever it is. They'll give him some money to reinforce. They're gonna say, mate, do it again.
Fair enough.
I missed Emery's days at Arsenal when he used to start his press conferences.
Arsene Wenger.
No, I know. Emery, when he started.
Oh, Emery.
Good evening.
Yeah.
Not evening with a B. Evening. Good evening.
Yeah, typical. He reminds me of.
Nah, he's just racist, man.
He reminds.
Sorry.
Hey,
if
he
I
reminds me
offended,
of-
I'm so sorry.
He reminds me of. What's that movie, Johnny? Longfellow Deeds, Mr. Deeds. Good evening. It looks
Anyway,
exactly the same.
So going back to my question,
Anyway, Johnny, what I was thinking was, look, so I think Conte is not doing very well at Inter, but he has a massive contract. And Inter, I don't know how much, from a financial point of view, they can sack another coach. They just sacked their coach the year before or so, and so they're already having, multiple contracts need to be paid off. Honest, that's what we.
I was going to say Solskjaer. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Mate, are they
I
second?
think-
Are they?
No, but they're doing okay. They've won a couple of games in
No,
Premier
I-
League.
I-
Solskjaer's hot and cold.
Yeah.
There are games where they turn it on, and there are games where they're terrible.
He is hot and cold, but when you look at it on the ladder, how do you justify that when clubs are below? Honestly, I think maybe I'm completely wrong, guys. So you let me know. I think maybe Coleman.
Oh, Ronald Koeman, yeah.
Barca, but they're seventh on the ladder.
Yeah.
There's still drama circulating around the club. I think what's happened in this past week with Maradona has helped unify that dressing room a little. But I don't think before too long we'll see that drama start again.
no, I think they wouldn't get rid of him after the whole drama about the last couple of coaches
Yeah.
and stuff. I can't see them getting rid of him straight away.
Fair enough.
But you know what? I
Fair
don't think
enough, okay.
he suits.
Sorry, especially because they've qualified for the next stage of the Champions League as well.
Yeah,
I think
fair
he
enough.
suits
It's a
their
good point.
style, though.
Yeah.
I think Barcelona's always had a Spanish
Possession
or,
type game.
a tactician or someone that's had come through the ranks of that club. I understand Koeman played there and whatnot, but I feel like someone who's been through their system.
Yeah.
Right? They always have a coach like that. Your Guardiola.
Well, they've lined up Xavi for the
and
future.
your
haven't they?
Enrique's and
Yeah.
all that. So I don't know. I just feel like
What
they're just
about-
biding their time with him.
Yeah.
It'll be a matter of time until they find someone better than them.
It might be an issue of politics where if you sack him, are you not confirming to Messi that you're directionless, you don't have a plan, and if you are trying to pitch him to stay, maybe you do need some stability.
But they forced him, right?
What
Apparently.
about Pirlo?
What are you they coming on the ladder, Adasi?
They're about
Third or
third or fourth. Yeah, they've drawn a lot of games.
I tell you, AC Milan have
They've
been on
drawn-
fire, mate. It's nice to see after a while, eh? It's been several
it's been a long
years.
time. It's been a good 10 years.
Yeah, it's
Great.
beautiful to see.
It's been a good 10 years before Milan or anything.
Yeah.
Joseph Bucafori.
Thanks to Zlatan.
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 Glad to see Brahim Diaz do well there too.
So you reckon Pirlo is safe?
I don't know if he's safe because Juve do have that pressure. I mean, they've won every Serie A for the last,
9
years.
9.
Yeah,
The last 9.
the last 9 years. So I think that they're that pressure of not doing it. I think that they have a real awkward issue with Cristiano Ronaldo right now. He's making a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
He's playing really well, but at the same time, if they're not winning, and if they're not even winning Serie A, and if they disappoint Champions League, does he start going, hey, what's going on?
They won Champions League. Juve. They've invested in Ronaldo to
Yeah.
get the Champions League.
He's linked back to United.
Man, I heard he's linked back to Real Madrid. He's trying to get back there, apparently. I mean, that's all.
He said the other day he misses Madrid. And
you know what it's like, it's all tabloid rumor and all that. But the point is that those stories only prop up when something is not doing really well in your club.
But for me, Ronaldo's perfect fit is Real Madrid. I feel like his best football was there. Juventus, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, he's a superstar.
He is playing really well. He's on form right now. But yeah, I agree. Like
it makes sense to Real Madrid because that Galacticos era they've never been able to replicate, and I think that's why there's so much pressure at Real Madrid because you had that once. You had your Ronaldo, Figo, Beckham, Roberto Carlos all in one team. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Zidane, all playing together in one team. You've never ever lived up to that high. Like, I think that's never going to be replicated again.
No, I agree.
That number of quality players
multiple Ballon d'Or winners all together.
And unfortunately, Eden Hazard has been a complete disaster.
And I think that's what works against Real Madrid. That expectation. Once you've set that bar.
That's what I'm saying. Next week, match day 6 of the Champions League, if Real don't get through the group, Zidane's job is really on the line.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, if you, regardless of whether you think Zidane should or shouldn't be sacked,
the way the club operates, they live and die by results. And I've seen coaches get sacked for a lot less.
All right, prediction. I want to hear a name. I
already said mine. I said mine was Coleman.
Sorry,
Ronald Koeman.
Solskjaer.
You know what? Solskjaer is realistic because United are very fickle when it comes to this sort of stuff, and especially because they've tailed Liverpool for the last however many years now.
Yeah.
In terms of competing, they've just gone to shit. They've churned through managers. They haven't done anything, and they want to get back up there because it's pride up there.
And you know what? Like, I'm sorry, John. I wanted to say like one thing that like I totally agree with you about though is it's all about who's waiting in the wings, who doesn't have a job right now, eh?
Yep.
And I think Manchester United would love Pochettino. And I think even Real Madrid would love to go after him. Barcelona, I don't know what their relationship is like. We've talked about it. Pochettino's not a big fan of Barcelona.
Espanyol
but,
guy.
he's been putting out some mixed messages over the past 6 months or so.
Because he needs a job, right?
Yeah, exactly. And also, a chance to coach Messi, and everyone would like to see what could they do with players like that, right?
Yeah.
But so I do think that maybe makes your prediction a little bit better than mine because I think that they would love to jump on Poch.
I think Solskjaer was always a stopgap. I don't think it was a long-term thing.
That result against PSG last year when they won in the knockout stage, that was the start of the downfall because since then that's when they.
Yeah, but let me ask you something. What pedigree does Solskjaer come with? Did he go back and coach in Norway?
Norway, he coached Cardiff City and they got relegated.
Okay, so there you go. Fuck. So you're going to come and coach Man United. I understand you're a legend or...
they're attached to the sentimental stuff.
Yeah, but it doesn't always work.
Exactly.
You had Alan Shearer back at Newcastle. What happened?
Didn't.
You got him relegated. So
for me, if it's not Solskjaer, controversial here, I reckon Gattuso. And Napoli.
Really? Oh, wow. Yeah? No. I don't think that's controversial. I think that's smart. I think that's a good step.
Why?
They're coming fifth. Like, they're not... Like, you want them to be up there. Like, they finished, I think, second last season.
Yeah, but how far off the pace are they currently?
6 points.
Okay, that's not unreasonable considering you're talking
they
about
need
Inter,
a good
Juve
run.
and
They
Milan.
need a good run of games to get back up there.
But taking into consideration Gattuso's personality,
he
can fire up at any time.
And
I
the
love him as a player, man.
the president of Napoli is also he can get a little trigger happy with his coaches. I mean, they part away with Sardi when he gave them their best ever season.
I don't understand that. That never made sense to me.
No,
that never made sense. To me.
It's just because he wants someone who he can control, and Sardi's a bit of a rebel sometimes, eh?
Yeah. Speaking of Gattuso, I saw his tribute to Maradona this week as well. It was very.
Was it nice?
It was nice. Yeah. He spoke at a presser.
Any last comments, guys?
What do you mean? We're done already?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That Platini story took up half the
Time flies when you're having fun.
Time flies when you're bashing keyboards.
Time flies when you're reminiscing of your teenage days. Yeah. Jeez. What was I thinking?
So welcome to your therapy session at Adasi.
I look back, I laugh at it, but good times. But it's been a roller coaster of a week. It's 7 weeks since Maradona passed away, and the football world.
It has been
sending tributes
exactly
across.
Wow.
And I've mentioned it before. He deserved to have like a full stadiums, with the tributes and that. But it is what it is. With the world we're living in. But his legacy will live on.
Jack?
Personal beefs, boys. Personal beefs. We've got to start sharing this more often. I think it's good for the soul.
Okay, mine's done. Who's got a personal beef with someone?
Mate, I'm sure everyone's got a story. We'll save some for future podcasts. Otherwise, we'll run out of time now because I'm sure we're towards the end.
And I like the idea about interviewing someone in the Australian football community or world to talk about problems in this country.
I agree. At the
podcast.
very least, even someone who just has worked in media, because just to try to get wrap your head around some of the reasonings behind some of the decisions they made.
Yeah.
You know, from a media perspective. But if you could get someone obviously associated with football here in Australia, would be better.
You know what? I don't think you're going to find anyone from media who will give you an answer that will satisfy your query in terms of, because for us it's more sentimental, right? We're attached to football. I think any answer that you're going to get is going to be purely a business response.
I suppose I'm just trying to look from that, but I'm trying to look from the not PC, man. That wasn't a PC article.
That wasn't PC at all.
No, Sam.
It's not a politically correct angle at all. Like at the end of the day, I'm trying to be as cynical and business-like as I can when I try to understand the decisions, and I don't see the common sense there. Besides the fact that it's just all about ratings, it's all about algorithms, it's all about likes, dislikes, interaction on Facebook and shit like that.
Next week's episode is going to be a special one. So,
what's next week's episode?
Oh, it's a surprise.
Oh, okay. Is it special?
It's a special
Stay
one.
tuned, guys.
Guess what, guys?
I'm
I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. We've got Michelle Platini joining us next week.
Telling his side of the story.
Exclusive.
You guys can do the Nobel Peace Prize. We organise that Peace
Is he out of jail?
No idea.
I think we've been stalking him at the
Yeah, because it was criminal what he did. Kicked him out of the chat.
Yeah, next week's going to be a special one, and hopefully in the coming weeks, after last week's vote, is there going to be a tattoo? Yes or no?
We already voted yes. What's wrong with you?
Well, I'm just saying, is there maybe...
I know, you say yes or no as if there was a question of it.
Maybe in the next couple of weeks we'll see one, maybe we won't.
So what he's saying is maybe he'll chicken out, Fatty, maybe he'll pussy out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Fucking hell. I thought we were going to throw this up as a poll up to, on Football Retro and people were going to vote yes or no.
Maybe.
You clearly backed off. No, I mentioned it. Go listen to the podcast.
Alright, we'll do it on Instagram this week.
Okay, done.
No problem.
You heard it here first. Minute 58 and 50 seconds. Is it 58? 56.
A minute 58. So we've only been doing for 2 minutes.
Johnny's got, no, I'm just saying, so this is the time that it's recorded. Johnny's going to put up a poll for everyone out there whether they should get a Maradona tattoo. I just feel like the longer you leave it, the less impact it's going to have.
On that note, see you guys next week. Thanks again, and send a message. Your part.
Oh yeah, guys! Look, leave a like and comment. Try to subscribe. If you guys have any opinions, let us know what you think about some of the media stuff that's been happening in the last 7 days, or let us know if there's a coach out there that you think is going to get the chop.
Actually, I got something to add.
Oh, you got something to add?
You mention algorithm all the time and all this.
Yeah. What do you not
I don't know,
sure what it means?
doing something for us, man. It's like doing something against us.
What do you mean?
What'd you do to Adasi?
Adasi's got personal beef.
You got personal beef with Mark Zuckerberg as well?
Mark Zuckerberg.
I haven't spoken to him at all. I'm out of this.
Not lately.
Actually, if you have any suggestions on who we should interview or anything along those lines, send them through
Something realistic.
and we'll get in touch.
Something realistic.
Well, it can't be Maradona now, can it?
Oh.
Too soon?
Hey, we've got Platini next week. That's fine.
Not expect that from you, mate.
People of those caliber, it's fine. We can do that.
All right. Thanks again, guys. See you next time.